Coming up during the next hour, of course, Zach Tate live in the studio, and he's bringing Jewel Brown in the studio with him. They have a new duet, and I can't wait to pick their brain about how they met and how this project got started. And we'll get to hear the world radio debut together of their fantastic new song. Right here on 90.1 FM, you are listening to Wide Open Spaces, and today in the studio we have two very special guests that have come together for a fantastic song. First, a legendary performer from Houston. She got her first paying gig at the age of 12. She played for 12 years with Louis Armstrong, toured the world multiple times, has recorded countless of records, and I could probably spend the rest of the show introducing her, but that wouldn't be any fun because she's right here. Jewel Brown, how you doing? How you doing today?
Holding on, trying to keep on keeping on while I can, when I can, if I can, however I can, for as long as I can, for who I can, as long as the good Lord say I can.
Well, you've been doing that it's been working out for you. And we also had today in the studio a Canadian artist who has really embraced the Gulf Coast culture and the sound, not only as a rock and roller, but as a writer and music photographer. He is in many regional publications. Mr. Zach Tate, welcome to the studio. How you doing this morning?
Hey, Roark, good.
Good to have both of you here with us. You're here to talk about a new single that you have collaborated together on called Fallin For You. But the seeds of this project started about, I guess, 10 years ago at a benefit on Galveston Island. Does that sound about right?
Yeah. There was a show at the Galveston Opera House, and Joe Sample was putting that together, and I was working for a Galveston publication, and so interviewed Joe Sample, and he told me about Jewel Brown. You gotta get with Jewel Brown. And so we did an interview after that, and I went to see a few shows of Miss Brown's, and thought, oh man, if I could work with her one day doing a song. And that was the beginning of that.
Very nice.
He got me doing something I never done before, and that's sing with somebody. I've always been by myself.
You've never done a duet the whole time?
Never in my life. 76 years of this business, I never sang a song as a duet with anybody else.
So, had you just said no to that offer before, or just never been approached with that offer?
Just never had been approached with it.
Okay.
No.
Wow, what a great story. Now, you guys got together with Andrew Bradley, correct? And he produced this thing.
Well, yeah, that's right. Andy is at Wire Road Studios in the Heights, and formerly a co-owner of Sugar Hill Studios. Anyway, he's over there at Wire Road now, and I've done 2 or 3 records with him, and I know Jewel. He's worked with Jewel before. You've worked with him
with Barnett Car.
Right, and so when we all walked in the studio together, it was, I guess, a nice reunion for you and Andy.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Right. How did Orq get involved in this?
Well, Mighty Orq, he played on our song "Weeds of Love" on the End of Time CD 10 years ago, and from the moment I heard Orq, I thought, man, he's a great blues guitarist, and always wanted to work with him, and so he played on our song. I guess that would have been 2012, just before meeting Miss Brown, and so I brought him back in on this song with Jewel, and just thought it would be a nice collaboration among a couple of great Houston artists.
Okay, and your regular bands here, like Gary Graham's on keys, right?
Gary Graham is killing it on the keys on this song, and Rick Barnett on the bass, Pete Sanchez on the drums, and Tim Treadway on the guitar, and on the background vocals. I gotta say this because they're like the Pips, Pete Sanchez and Steve Kyle.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and of course Jewel Brown and I doing the vocals.
Okay. Well, let's put this in our ears. Here it is. This is a world radio debut. Is that correct? You haven't shared this with anybody else yet, have you?
No, this is it, man. This is the and we got to thank KPFT 90.1 FM for giving us this opportunity.
Hey, thank you. Thanks for sharing it with us first. Here we go. This is it. Fallin For You on KPFT Houston.
You told me not to fall in love.
said you got a past that I would not believe. No, no.
And as sure as the devil is coming, God is judging, I should leave you be.
But now it's all I can do now. Well, it takes everything, everything I got, yeah. Because you're everything that you think you're not, baby. Oh yes, and it's too late, baby. I know I can't stop. No, no. I'm falling for you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm falling for you, baby.
Oh, yeah. Tickle that thing there. Sound good to me.
And now it's all I can do.
Oh, yeah.
It takes everything, everything I got.
Oh, yeah.
'Cause you're everything that you think you're not. Yeah, yeah. And it's too late, baby. No, I can't stop. I'm falling for you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm falling for you, baby.
Falling for you, my baby. Oh, yeah.
You told me not to. I fall in love with you.
No, 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 no.
Oh, yeah. You just heard the world radio debut, Fallin For You, Jewel Brown and Zach Tate together, and they're both live in the KPFT studio. That was fantastic. Mrs. Brown, I was looking at your face. That was the first time you really listened to that song, right?
Yes.
Yeah. What'd you think?
I listened to it on my phone, but it just sounds so much greater over here.
You're right. That was beautiful. You guys did a really good job, and hats
you.
off to the
Thank
band and Mighty Orq, and can't wait to share that again and again with folks. It's available already on Spotify and
Yes.
all the normal places. Is that right?
Well, yeah. It's propagating is the word they like to use through all digital platforms.
It's brewing.
Yeah. Hey, if I didn't mention, that was Rick Barnett on the bass.
Okay.
I want to make sure I, get all the band members in there, and
Absolutely.
of course Mighty Orq on the lead guitar.
Yeah.
But on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube Music, I've been able to find it there. So assuming everyone else can too.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Very nice. And Zach, you got a couple of gigs. You got one tomorrow night, Sharky's on Galveston Island.
That's right. Yeah,
Okay.
Sharky's on 25th on Galveston Island, and the
18th. That's this weekend, right?
Yeah. This weekend on Friday, and then
And
on,
the 25th. No, that's Hank. That's
no,
that's
on
the line.
25th, the street.
Oh,
25th.
gotcha. You're throwing me off here.
That's right.
Gotcha.
And the Chantilly Room, the fabulous, legendary Chantilly Room on Saturday, November 19th. That's this Saturday in LaPorte.
Very nice.
LaPorte.
And you do have a hack winery on the 25th, not the street 25th.
That's right.
All right.
Yeah. And then Katie's, which is a great blues place, and I know a lot of the artists who,
Yeah.
you
Katie's Bar
guys,
and Bakeliff, of course.
right? Yeah, and so I know that you guys work well with Katie's and promoting all the artists that play there. So that's great.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. Mrs. Brown, you have been at it since you were 12 years old. You got your first paycheck when you were 12. Is that right? And you were playing on Galveston Island, if I'm not mistaken. Your first gig.
Correction.
Okay, tell me.
My first paycheck was at 9 years
old.
old.
Oh, wow. Okay. now was that a talent contest paycheck?
That's right.
Okay.
And for 9 weeks straight.
No, you won the talent 9 weeks in a row.
And when they kind of screwed me out of it, they did me a favor.
Yeah, it's time to graduate.
By that time it had caught on, and boom. Wango Club, the Riviera Club, and all the different clubs around.
You were in high demand early on.
That thing.
And you got your driver's license at the age of 11, if I'm not mistaken. And you were the chauffeur for the band at 12.
That's right.
Yeah.
I drove my own band down to Corpus Christi at 12 years old.
Oh, wow. Wow. Now your mom was in tow most of the time, right?
Always.
Yeah. She was watching out, making sure everything was legit.
Always.
Now you had so many gigs growing up. It just didn't seem to ever really stop. But I think you got the chance to play with Louis Armstrong, and you jumped at that. And there was an offer that was thrown on the table.
The offer was to ask. They asked me. Well, it was Tony Papa, that was branch manager of Associated Booking Corporation in New York. They asked me, did I want Jewel? He just came out bluntly and said, Jewel, who would you want to be with, Duke Ellington or Louis Armstrong?
Now you're thinking this is a hypothetical question. Right, but he's being serious.
And I said, in this business you learn to think in a flash.
Right.
And to be honest with you, my thoughts were, well, with Louis, they're all old men. But this is in a flash thinking, okay?
Yeah, you're right.
And on top of that, I had learned that Duke didn't like to fly. So look how many days you're out of work while you're taking a boat to Europe and so forth, to the foreign countries. And then the other thing was, Duke got 17. It was 7 with me, with Louis Armstrong.
Oh, right. Yeah, that paycheck doesn't cut up to a whole lot.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
And you did 10 years with him and traveled the world a couple of
No, it was almost 8.
8, okay. And you travel everywhere.
Been around the world about 3.5 times plus.
Right.
With him. I never thought I'd go to places like Reykjavik, Iceland, Helsinki, Finland.
Amazing. In places in Russia and places like that, too,
well,
right?
yeah, all over Russia, like Budapest and Hungary, all those different places. It's just, it's been a blessing. Yeah. It's been an absolute blessing. I never was, to be honest, very good in school because I always worked because I wanted to help my mom and dad, And so they asked me when I finished high school, did I want to go to college? I said, no, I want to go to work so I can help you all.
Right.
And I was 13 when I sang with Lionel Hampton at the auditorium here. And his wife, Gladys, asked me to join them then.
And they were going on European tours.
And they were going, that's right. And I said, oh, no, I can't go anywhere. I say, because I want to graduate for my father. My father asked me to please graduate for him. He never got a chance to. He wanted to, but back then in those days it was hard, okay? And so I told him, no, I couldn't go. They said, well, when you finish college, call us. And I said, I will do that. So the day that I finished high school at Jack Yates, good old Jack Yates, I called. And Gladys answered the phone, Mrs. Hampton. And she said, oh, Jewel, you've called just at the perfect time. She said, we are shortly going to Europe and you'll be able to go with us. I said, okay, and how much? She said, $75. I said, a night? She said, no, a week. I said, no, thank you.
I'm making that here at home.
You see? So I told her, no, thank you. But then I kept on going, and it was then that after I turned that down, I said, Mother, come on, let's go find you a home. And cause she had, at 13 years old, I showed her my tip box. It was a cigar box.
Right.
And she said, oh, baby, we can move into a better rent house. I said, oh, no. I say, we've been here this long. I said, when we move out of this house, we want to move in your house. And boom,
And you bought that house.
And after I told Gladys that I couldn't go, I said, "Come on, Ma, put your shoes on. Let's go down to Judson Robinson." And she had gone to school with his wife, Josephine. I said, "Let's go down there and see what he can do for us." And we went down there, and boom, that day I bought my mama a house.
And you still live in that same house, don't you?
68 years.
Very nice. And it's right. We're neighbors.
Not far from you.
All right. We're talking to Jewel Brown live in the KPFT studio. Just heard the world premiere of Fallin For You with Zach Tate and Jewel Brown, and of course the Mighty Orq playing the lead guitar on that. So you spent a little time in Vegas too, right? And did the circuit in that state, right? Nevada?
Well, I worked quite a bit there with Louis, of course.
Okay.
But then I did a lot on my own after Louis got sick, and of course, he passed on in '71. So that's when I started doing the Nevada circuit on my own in '71. I did a show there at the Sahara on the Strip. It was called Fillers de Soul, and I did it for a year and a half. We worked the entire contract of a year and a half. When it was going across the street to the Stardust, I told him, I said, "No, y'all, I got to go." I said, "I got to help my daddy with my mama. My mama had to have a stroke." So that's what I did. I left. And then when I left, I came here and I said, "Well, I got to be doing something," because back then Medicare didn't do anything for you. They gave you 90 days, and after 90 days, boom, that was it. And so, like, my mom was an invalid for 7 years. So I went into the hair business. And,
with your brother, right?
That's right.
How long did you have a hair salon here?
I did it for 16 years.
Okay.
But my brother continued on.
Okay.
And after 16 years, all the chemicals and so forth was kind of taking my breath away.
What was the name of that hair salon?
Sir Brown's Hair Palace.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
And where do you get your hair done now over there in Third Ward?
Where do I get my hair done?
Yeah.
Baby, me.
Okay. I knew that was coming.
I had a lady that I had, but after I got to thinking, I said, well, I moved too fast. And at that time, at least, I was moving too fast. And I decided I was going to start my own thing. And so I just started doing things and figuring out ways I can do it myself. I was doing it myself on the road, because the funniest story about that, the one funniest story anyway, when I got to Paris when I was with Louis, and it was time to get my hair done. I wanted my head washed, hair washed, And I went to this salon in Paris. And I said, do you think, I spoke slowly. I said, do you think you could do my hair? Showed her my hair. At that time, it had been pressed around, but it was 2 weeks old. I needed to be washed and stuff. So she said, oh, yes, I can. I said, okay. When I laid my head back in the bowl and she let that water hit that and it started swelling up, she screamed, oh. So luckily there was a gentleman hairdresser in there that had been working on the Jewish people.
Right.
And they had hair quite like mine.
So he figured it out.
So he said, oh, let me handle this. Mm-hmm. I'll do this for her. And he did a beautiful job. Mm-hmm.
Now, you haven't really stopped working, and you actually have a record that's due out early next year.
Yes, as a matter of fact, it's really being produced everywhere, all over the world. January 6th.
Okay, mm-hmm. and this has been a labor of love you've been working on for a little while.
Yes, he told you the story about Joe Sample,
mm-hmm.
How we met. Zach did, but. We worked together, and Joe had told me, after the gig was over, he said, Jewel, we got to go into the studio. We got to do an album together. I said, hey, man, name it, And, but I could tell, by being an observant person, that he was not well. Mm-hmm. And I tried to introduce him to my wellness and healing doctor, but he stayed so busy, he didn't get a chance to do anything. But he said, Jewel, we gonna go in there. He said, I got to finish this CD I'm doing with NDIRE. And after we finish, then me and you go in the studio. I said, okay. Well, in that process, as he was passing, he told Nick Allen, he says, he told him, he said, look, man, he said, if it don't do anything else, he said, you got to do something with Jewel. And bam.
And Nick's a local producer and jazz artist here in Houston.
There you go.
Correct?
He's actually from New Orleans.
Okay, but
he's
based here?
He's based here. And boy, you can hear the results of what he's done on this particular thing.
Now you're being sweet to me today, and you're going to let me sample. You're going to let me share a track with our listeners, right?
A taste of honey.
Just a little taste. But now you can enjoy this right now, everybody out there. This is Jewel Brown off of a record that's coming out January 6th.
January 6th of all days.
But you're going to get a little taste right now. This is the last track on it. It's called How Did It Go?
How did it go?
All right, here it is on KPFT Houston. Jewel Brown, world radio premiere.
How did it go? Did she show? Don't come knocking at my door. I don't want you no more. Even she don't take it that easy. I'm not in love with you, boy, and I'm not taking you in. How did it go? I don't really wanna know. With you standing right here, I feel a bit of your fear. It's feeling kinda low. Seems to me you torn your playhouse down. You played so hard you made yourself a clown. You pitied me, huh? Now it's your pity party. Oh, brother, don't you dare get me started. Don't blame it on us. And now you're making a fuss. You should have been leaving love instead. You betrayed our trust. Now clean up yourself. You think you're so tough. You showed your natural ass. Now you wanna get back in my door.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Get back. Don't call on the phone. It won't work. You stayed gone too long. Get on back to Grace. Somebody's taking your place. Go take a hike, 'cause I got Daddy Mike. Woo! I like that.
Radio debut, Jewel Brown, How Did It Go, off of the great new record that's not even out yet. Thanks for good old music and memories, January 6th. Man, that's fantastic. And I promise it's going to be hard for me to do. I'm going to give this CD back to you, and I won't Don't even look for it till next year.
No, it's my gift to you, but just hold on.
Okay, all right. I'll wait till
And
next
hold
year.
back.
All right, I'll do that. I appreciate that. Now, you and Nick Allen wrote most of the songs on this record,
Exactly.
including that beautiful one we just heard.
Exactly.
Beautiful. I can't wait to hear more of this and share it with Houston and beyond. I appreciate you taking time out of your day to come talk to us about your life and music. It was a real honor. Thank you so much.
Oh, it's my pleasure, and I thank you for inviting me.
All right, you bet. Mr. Tate, thank you for arranging all this for us. Don't forget, he'll be at Sharky's tomorrow night on Galveston Island, and then a Chantilly room in LaPorte on Saturday the 19th. And you can find out more at ZachTate.com.
That's correct. Yeah, thanks for having us, Roark. And yeah, I just want to add too that when Ms. Brown is telling her life story, like this, is I just think it's so great that I don't want to allude to living history, but really Jewel Brown is a treasure of Houston music, and it's such an honor to have her sing on the track. So thank you, Ms. Brown.
Lord bless.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
thanks for having us.
I'm glad you brought that up because I don't know if she remembers, but she was at the old Lovett House, and she was waiting on an interview with Tierney Malone, and we were sitting out at the lobby just chatting, me and you, and I was so jealous that Tierney got to interview you. So I've been waiting for this for a while. So I'm glad you finally made it into the studio. So
It's my pleasure.
absolutely, you guys have a wonderful afternoon. Have a great weekend, and hopefully we'll see you guys back here real soon. Let me ask you one question: when you do this CD release party for this, will you play a few songs live somewhere at a bar or something to celebrate this?
I don't know. I don't know just now.
Okay,
I don't
it's
know
so far
just
out.
now.
We got plenty of time to plan that. All right. We'll talk to you guys real soon.
Lord bless everybody.
All right, have a great afternoon.
Thank you.